Welcome to another, what rhymes with let's play? Roll around in the hay. Today's the day. Let's have it go our way. Some do say. We're going to be playing some video games on a keyboard? What the fuck?
What kind of show is this?
Do you know what this is?
A keyboard.
It is. It does look like a keyboard. But underneath the hood of this tiny, adorable, actually kind of really nice feeling keyboard is an entire computer. So this is the Pi 500. It just came out maybe a month or two ago.
Oh, this is new.
It is a Raspberry Pi
Logo
5.
stamped in and everything.
There it
I don't know
is.
if the camera picks that up.
It doesn't. So you're just
Okay.
you're wasting my time, your time, their time.
Okay.
But that's fine because we've got all the time.
Okay.
And one more time just to make sure. There we go.
There we go. Now
That's
you can
worth
see
it.
it. All right.
That was all the way worth it. Okay, so I had this. There was a Pi 400 that came out that was based on the Raspberry Pi 4. I didn't get that one, and that's fine because this guy came out. So before we get into all of the things that this thing can do, and we're absolutely going to be playing just a mere selection of the 35,000 games that I personally installed onto that thing, and they will be deleted in 24 hours because this is for the purpose of research and librarily endeavors. So trust me on that. These are going to be all gone in 24 hours. So
Okay.
walk me through this, Chief. Do you know fuck all of anything when it comes to Raspberry Pi?
No.
Have you ever been curious at all about Raspberry Pis?
Yes.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about your experience with the Raspberry Pi before I give you mine.
No, I'm just curious about it.
Okay. End of subject there. So, but why, okay, if you've been curious, why haven't, like, they're not expensive, depending on whether there's a shortage or not. Like, they're pretty plentiful, easy to get.
Yeah.
Why? Why haven't you done anything?
I have not felt that I needed to. I have such a assortment of games in my life, games to play, games everywhere. I'm drowning in video games. That unless you want to tell me differently, the Raspberry Pi is a lot of like old school stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't felt the need. There is always the twinge. Sometimes I get jizzed up at the idea.
You get all jizzed up at it, yeah.
At the idea of coming on over, hanging with my suck boyfriend.
Yeah. Spelled C-U-M, got it. Keep going.
And I remember the one time I came over here and you had just downloaded, backed up your Commodore 64 games.
Yeah.
And we spent an afternoon going through the Commodore 64 library. And I had a Commodore 64. That was my first computer as a kid.
Yeah.
That was super fun, that little trip down nostalgia lane.
So I had a 386 growing up. So DOS was my deal.
Yeah.
Just as a little taste of what it is that we're talking about. All of the year 1989, all of it, the entire 1989 output of DOS, it's on that little keyboard. Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm not super surprised because you don't have anywhere near the same affinity for playing older video games as I do. But I will say, these things have been around and have been so like ubiquitously popular that to me, like, I don't know, like it's just something that I feel like you should have done. GD it, but whatever. This is my third Raspberry Pi. Wow. I came into the ecosystem actually during COVID. I got a Raspberry Pi 3 initially to do one thing and one thing only, and that was to emulate an internet atmosphere for the Dreamcast. So I have a Pi 3 that has its own image, meaning like operating system and all that stuff, and it's designed to emulate the Sega's Dreamcast online network infrastructure. And then you plug in this little weird dongle that turns a phone jack into a Wi-Fi signal and plug those things together via USB, and then boom, I'm playing Phantasy Star Online in the 2020s. And it was an incredible experience. And
you were not alone, though. I mean,
no, there's a lot of people that was doing this.
Yeah, it's a little micro community of Phantasy Star players.
And it's still, we're 5 years removed. It's still happening. So like you can right now go and play Dreamcast Online. So that was the Pi 3. Pi 4 was literally just given to me at a job. Like things were shutting down and there was just stacks and stacks and stacks of these 8 gigabyte model Pi 4s.
Just like, thank you.
No, the guy, he said, do you want one of these? Like, I didn't like go and steal it or anything. Like,
Right.
I was like literally just passed, hey, do you want one? And I looked at it and was like, well, yeah, of course. It's fucking free. And it's $100 thing. Done. So took it home. And then that one it was what's called a Cana kit. So it's, if you don't know much about Raspberry Pis, like they're these tiny little single board computers that have gotten actually really powerful, especially compared to where they started. But they're very, very tinkery, moddery kind of stuff. So like you kind of have to go get your own heat sinks, your own cases. A lot of that stuff has gotten now to the point where you can go buy one of these, literally like an all-in-one microcomputer.
Yeah.
But a Cana kit came with like a case, a heat sink, all this other stuff. And then an SD card that had the Raspbian operating system, which is like their version of Windows, which is all based on Linux. And then this thing called Laka, which is basically like it looks like if you've seen RetroArch or anything like that, but it's like a cross media bar influenced emulator environment type of a thing. Works okay. Like it's just okay. You can load up some ROMs, play them, it functions. But on this, what I've done is I've installed a thing called Batocera. So Batocera, Batocera, is like the operating system made for this kind of stuff. And you can install Batocera on fucking anything, a Steam Deck. And it's literally like the SD card that's in there has the image written on there. So it will boot to Batocera, goes directly to it. And similarly, if you did this on a Steam Deck, you would just pop in your SD card, turn on your Steam Deck, and it would boot into Batocera. But it's like an operating system that is designed to handle tens of thousands of files, which if you have a robust 24-hour legally obtained library and research-based ROM library,
Right.
it has no problem chewing through that stuff. So, for example, there's just under 30,000 things on, I want to say it's like 15 platforms. Now, I've been doing this all myself. Reason being is just because it's I like the experience of like mixtaping, like kind of tailoring what I want. What a lot of people do with Raspberry Pis is they'll just go on Etsy and they'll spend $70 on like a prepackaged card and then just plug it in the Raspberry Pi and you're off to the races.
Yeah.
And after having gone through this process, I understand why someone would want to do that because this has taken me probably 6-ish hours and counting. I have some issues with it that for the most part, it's super duper stable, and I'm blown away with the compatibility of it. Like I'm going to show you in a second here, GameCube games running on that tiny little thing. Okay. But every once, like for example, the DOS right now, there's a problem where it's not detecting my mouse, and I don't really know why. So I've got to figure that out.
That's a big one.
No, actually it isn't, because if you played a lot of DOS games, almost all of them are controlled with the keyboard too.
Oh yeah.
So like I was playing Life and Death 2 the other day with the arrow keys, and it was great. My patient did not survive. They often don't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop on down. I'm gonna turn this on and we're gonna kind of peruse and walk through, and then we're gonna play a selection of arcade games that I want to share with you. So if you want, before we do that, you can ask me questions about this. Take a tour of the hardware.
I do have some questions.
Go for it.
What is this black bar on the? Where's my camera?
Right there, the one that's pointed at you.
Okay.
There you go.
That black bar
that's a 32 pin. It's a rubber stop for a 32 pin connector. So what a lot of Raspberry Pi's functionality, this is what's called a header, an I/O header, and you would plug this into robotics. Because Raspberry Pi, the other thing that they're used for is they're intermediary controllers to use with other electronics. So i.e. there's a lot of Raspberry Pi usage in robotics. As an aside, my son in his classroom and here at home, he uses Scratch on these things all the time. And he's learning how to code using that and this. I can't recommend this thing enough. Like, from what I'm about to show you is going to blow your fucking mind, but just as a thing, like, this right here cost $90. And if you needed a computer to check your email, watch YouTube, watch Netflix, this is more than capable of doing that.
It's that. And
it's just right here in this neat little, which is funny because like I've showed MSXs on this channel before. I just got an Atari 800. Like That's what a computer used to be, was a keyboard with all the guts inside of it.
Right.
And now we're back, baby.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got 3 USBs, and it looks like 1 USB-C. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's for power.
Okay. And then 2 HDMIs. Why 2?
If you wanted to multi-display, you can. So you can have 2 monitors on that shit. You can do like how you do one legal format, that which you see a lot of in programming. You'll see a lot of vertical monitored stuff. So yeah, it's a neat little thing, but boy, oh boy, does it get a whole lot neater when we actually plug it in. So we're going to do that when we return, so stick with us. That just kind of beamed into my hand there. Yes. So this is just a At Games joystick. There's literally nothing special, and it was purchased very much on clearance. But it is Bluetooth, and I've synced it to our guy there.
No, I thought you had a very special one of these.
I have like 13 joysticks. I do have several very special. There's one that I want to get called, it's called the Octopus. It's not out yet, but it works with like, if what I'm seeing is to be believed, it works with every console you can ever imagine. And it's very expensive, but very, very high quality, and joysticks make me extremely
How expensive
happy.
is really expensive?
It's like a $600 joystick.
Okay. I would have guessed $200 is like a really expensive
It's
joystick.
adorable. They used to be that, and that's long time has passed since then.
So that 600 is pre-tariffs, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then there's pre-tariffs for
Maybe
that. as well.
$1,000. Yeah.
So I have plugged in the Pi 500 featuring Batocera. So we'll do a quick tour of it, and I'll show you some of the little the dealies of the platform, and then we're going to play some games. And games that I've selected that A, I don't think you've ever heard of, and B, they're going to knock your dick in the dirt.
Okay, the usual.
The usual, exactly. So, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to turn on this right here. And you knew it. Here we are at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. I'm going to do this. And let's inject a little bit of sound into the mix here. Oh, Katie Rady. So, I have synced a Xbox controller and this At Games control deck thing. Okay. So, let's do a tour real quick.
Yeah.
So starting from all games, excuse me, I may have been a little hyperbolic. I have 25,410 games here. I thought that was 29,410, but if you'll give me 5 minutes,
Just fake news.
I've got several more years of DOS that we can upload. So one of the, just out of the bat, we can talk about the customability of Batocera. Like right now I have this theme on. If you go here to user interface settings, you can change themes. Now you can download a billion different themes. There's tons. But let's, just to show you, here's Iconic ES. This is a theme I downloaded off of their online service. And so now you see this. So total change there.
Yeah.
So the themes range from like really classy to like super duper garish, which also is fun. But we'll stick on this theme just because I just wanted to show you that you can do that. And really the sky is the limit with how you can make this look. But so for start, I have, of course, MAME. Favorite games, this is obviously a playlist from any system you want. You can throw.
And you have 4 favorite games. Please tell me they're like romance novels, interactive romance.
Truck stop porno games, and no, they're not that. Those are the games that we're going to play, and I put them there for convenience. But that's a thing that you can do, and you can obviously add and remove your favorites. But when you have a library of tens of thousands of games, this is a handy feature. So we've got MAME. What I love about almost all of the themes is like it gives you like a little description of the systems. MAME is, for anyone that doesn't know, the multiple arcade machine emulator.
Why does it say 1997 emulator? Was that the first year that MAME came out?
Correct. The first MAME build came out in '97 for DOS. My neighbor got it, and I played Zaxxon on my at the time 486, and it ran very poorly. So Final Burn is another arcade emulator. Some games that don't work in this version of MAME, you bounce them over to Final Burn and vice versa. So I've got 2 of those because at the end of the day, the main reason I have this thing is for the arcade stuff. I have a pretty big collection of home console shit and EverDrives and so on, so all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It is really convenient to have this all in this tiny little thing. So like, for example, if I want to go to your place, I could bring this with me and force you to play Ninja Golf on Atari 7800 because I know that would be a great time. And speaking of, here's Atari 7800.
Oh, Dig Dug.
So there's Wonder Swan, which is a handheld that never came out in America that has a bunch of cool games. Commodore is up here.
What is that?
That's Maniac Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my DOS. I got a bunch of DOS shit in here. Screen. This is kind of neat. Like if you take screenshots within the game. So and each of these systems run on their own emulator cores. But what Batocera is like an overwrap operating system that kind of houses everything together in a very neatly tuned experience. Okay. So that's kind of what it is. PC Engine, it's TurboGrafx, which I'm a huge fan of. We've played a little bit of this stuff on the show. The CD-ROM version of same. Yeah. A bunch of NES, bunch of Super Nintendo.
Go back. 4,000 NES games.
Yeah, this
4,000 NES backups. You're gonna for 24 hours.
4,700, and within 24 hours are all gonna go because this is for research purposes and library archiving only. Yeah. Super Nintendo 5,625. Wow. So, but what this covers is not just the library of the United States games, not just Japan. This is let's do it. Let's break it down. So we have all the U.S. games in alphabetical order, all of Japan. The BSX, which is Satellaview, which I'm sure you've never heard of, that is a thing that we were robbed of. It's like the Nintendo version of the Sega Channel, but with about 10 times the exclusives. And if it wasn't for the fucking work of true heroes out there, so much of this stuff would have been lost to time. Here's an example for you of how fucking cool this thing was. There was a version of Legend of Zelda Link to the Past that was broadcast live with actors. And they would be on, so when they said you have to play this game at 5 p.m., you have to be on to play the game at 5 p.m., and you would hear voice actors performing characters and telling unique stories. Yeah. And that shit is incredible. That stuff you can't get anymore because they were literally live broadcast. Right. But those ROMs exist and have been saved and preserved. And then you got hacks, which is like, as an example, if you want to see blood in Mortal Kombat 1 for Super Nintendo, that's in here. And then you have translations, which are, that's a big one for me.
Classic Kong at the bottom.
Classic Kong. So in every one of these systems, there are public domain games that are included in Batocera for testing purposes. So that game is made by some fans. It's a totally legal ROM. Like the rest of these ROMs, once they're deleted in 24 hours. N64, the emulator runs really good on here, I will say.
I'm surprised to hear that.
There are some games that run shittier than others, for sure, but I was pretty impressed with this. Like you could see 1080p N64 games running pretty darn good. GameCube, which I'll show you just to show off the power of the Pi 5. Game Boy Advance. Ports, there are tons and tons of unique ports that hobbyists, fans just create for Raspberry Pi. Those exist here. I don't have too many of them. This is a similar thing, Pi game. So now we get on to Sega. I've got Master System. I got Mega Drive, which is the Genesis. 32X is in there too. Game Gear. So this one, wow. I've in my entire life maybe played, I don't know, less than 10 hours of Game Gear my entire life. Right. And there's so many games that are locked to it. So for someone like me that really loves to explore libraries, this is great. And you can play it on your TV.
10 hours of Game Gear is still like $100 worth of batteries.
That's true. So yeah, absolutely.
There was still a commitment made.
And I'll put one of these on just so you can see what's neat about it. Well, one of many different things that are neat about it. So let's try. What is it? Oh yes, the vampire thingy or other. There's a Castlevania clone that people speak of pretty highly on the Game Gear. Is it In the Wake of the Vampire? Yes. So let's load this up. And every emulator you're going to see has like this cool screen overlay that is indicative of the console. Yeah. So this is a pixel perfect version of Game Gear. So obviously Game Gear had like a weird aspect ratio and pixel count. So to make that look as it should, it's here in this Game Gear overlay, which I think is a really neat touch. And we'll play this just a bit. In the Wake of the Vampire.
It's a great startup.
Well, it's Oh, it's actually the joystick, not the Xbox controller, and that's fine. Skip!
You cannot skip.
Yeah, you can. You just have to mash buttons.
Round 1.
The Thames. So yeah, this game is made by Sega, and it's just Sega's answer to a Castlevania game, and it's pretty damn good from what I've played so far.
It looks exactly like Castlevania or Super Castlevania.
Yeah, as it should.
Sounds like it too.
Yep. There was a lot, not a lot of this stuff on Sega consoles until Konami made Bloodlines for the Genesis. So this was just them filling a need, as Sega would often do. And there's all kinds of different wacky display options and overclocking and just like page after page after page of settings that you can fuck with. But at the same time with Batocera, you can choose to not do any of that and just play these games, which is great. Just like Castlevania, climbing downstairs is hard and stupid.
The hardest part of the game so far.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's an example of that. Let me go ahead and back out to the main menu here. So,
have a Sega CD on here?
I haven't put any Sega CD on here.
But you could.
Yeah, this game, this thing supports like, it's over 100. In fact, well, I can show you. Watch this. So if we back out to the main menu, and then on the keyboard here, go to the file structure, and this is how you add games and what have you. Of course, I don't have the mouse plugged in, so I can't show you. So this is all moot. This is all moot. But anyway, by pushing F1 on the keyboard, you go to this, which obviously looks like Windows. This is how you load ROMs. And if I could tap on, oh, I can. Let's just do this.
Yeah, there we go.
So this is everything on this current build. 3DO, Abuse, that's a port thing. Don't worry about it. Amiga 500, 1200, CD32. I won't read all of these, but as you can see, I keep doing it.
Just read it.
The breadth of support of this thing is incredible. So that
CDI? Oh man.
You better believe we can put those terrible Zelda games on this thing.
If you had warned me, I would have had you preload the Zelda games and some of the Sega CD games.
Well, the thing about that is I don't want to play those.
That'd make it even better.
Actually, it's a fair point.
Oh, and television?
Yes. Can I? Oh man, I really can't get out of here without a mouse. That sucks. So we got to do this. Hold on. Uncle Bob, can you plug that dongle in for me?
Into what?
In the USB port back here. Thank you, thank you. Look at that. This is the work we do here for you, the people. All right, I think we've done that. Let's do this. Are we back in business? We are. And now I can close so we can go back to Batocera and get into some gameplay. Okay. And we're back. So that's your controller there.
Okay.
So I want to show off the shit first, and then we'll play the games that we are actually here to play.
Original PlayStation? Oh,
yeah.
Jeez, PlayStation 4.
These are all games that I'm sure you don't know what they are, but let me tell you, they're all great.
Oh, I know.
Well, you know Hot Shots Golf.
Yes,
There you
I
go.
do. I have Hot Shots Golf. All right, let's play Hot Shots Golf.
Cool.
This is what you had me sign up for, right?
Nope. But the second I gave my 10-year-old cousin a video game controller, I should have known that this is what would have happened. But why not? You can look at how good the PSP support is. That's probably going to be me.
Oh. Oh, I've lost my power.
Okay. Hold on. No. Start that one. 7i. That's me. Oh, just 7. Okay. So this has nothing turned on. Like there's no.
Man, this takes me back though.
It's a great game. And for $90 and a 24-hour period, this can be yours and so much more.
This really is a wave of nostalgia is falling over me right now.
Yeah, I know. So here's the thing. Old video games are great, and you should play them way more often than you do. Like, by a factor of 100. Continue. Here we go. Boom. Look at that. Look at that messy hair. Messy hair, don't care. We'll play a little round here, and then I'll show you some GameCube, I guess, or Dreamcast. Here's the thing: The last time I really checked in with emulate, it's been a while since I probably since I soft modded a Wii. was the last time I spent a lot of time playing with emulation because I don't need to. I own a fucking shit ton of video games, and my preferred method of play for old stuff is to play the real deal. And I've afforded this lifestyle for myself to where I can do that willy-nilly. But I gotta say, the low cost of what this was to get set up and the fucking power of this thing, it's really hard to shake a tail feather at.
Oh no, Brian.
Well, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'm in the rough. This is playing this game with the joystick is actually really great because I feel like I'm playing, the arcade game that I have. God damn it!
Yeah. Oh.
Here we go. Right there.
Is that input lag or what's the deal there?
It could be. It could also just be that I suck and it's hard to talk and make good shots.
No, Brian. Don't say that.
It does feel like input lag though. The fine people at games, they're not. I'm not going to say that they're on the level of a Hori, but whatever. Okay, ready? Let's do it. Nope, a little shy. A little shy.
Seventh stroke.
There we go. Ting. Triple bogey. All right, so that's that. Now I'm going to move on down and let's try what we're going to show one more fancy thing, and then we'll start to play the stuff that I've selected for us here.
Okay.
Do I want to show this to you now? No, we'll do it later. Okay, let's go to GameCube, just so that you can see. And then, so F-Zero doesn't run good. I'll say that. So that's kind of, we're not going to show that off.
Oh, there's the Kirby game.
Oh yeah, Kirby. Actually, I haven't played that on here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so BIOS files. I haven't mentioned that at all. All I will say about the BIOS files thing is that it's a pain in the ass. You got to know where to find them, and you got to find them. That's it. So do your own fucking work there. I've done a lot of that work, and even that, there's still some that are missing.
Like here?
Yeah, but it's stupid. It's looking for a bundle of BIOSes, and if you're missing one, it says the whole thing's wrong, but that's not true. If you have the US BIOS, which I do, we're playing the GameCube game, but because I don't have the Panasonic Q DVD player BIOS, it's saying it's incomplete. So this is running upscaled. This is 1080p. This is a GameCube running pretty damn stable.
Yeah.
On a tiny keyboard computer. And on the one hand, I shouldn't be blown away because this is from 2003. But at the same time, what did you do there? Okay, just do start game.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to play, but I'll try. So push the A button. There you go. And pick whatever. So the mapping, you're going to have to figure this out. You're pushing A and or B.
Oh, it's B. Yeah.
So there you go.
B is A.
There you go. And we are absolutely not going to stop down and remap because it takes too much fucking time. So just figure it out. Oh, I can steer with the joystick. That's great. So all you do is hold the A button to slow down, to brake. But as you do that, you are also charging a boost. So you typically want to do that around turns and then boost outside of the turn. The joystick is very twitchy.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty solid. This is so there was a thing in the 2000s, went back when GameCube was very active. It was called Warp Pipe, and when you had Xbox and PlayStation 2, they were fully online capable, and the GameCube was at first, and then Nintendo very famously said, multiplayer is a fad, and we don't really care about it.
Yeah.
The homebrew community stepped up to the plate and made this thing called Warp Pipe, which that's why I bought a GameCube broadband adapter for. You can play this game, Mario Kart Double Dash, and 1080 snowboarding online using IP tunneling. So you would trick the GameCubes into thinking that they were in LAN mode, but you were actually tunneling the LAN over the internet. And it didn't work great, but playing Mario Kart Double Dash online when no one else could made me feel very powerful. So that's the GameCube on this thing. So let's quit that.
That was fun.
It's a fun little game, but really, I mean, it didn't stutter. Like it played exactly like a fucking GameCube would. And that little tiny keyboard is passively cooled, nothing, and it never gets hot. It's just wild. This thing blows my mind. And what I was saying earlier is like I shouldn't be surprised because the GameCube is 20 years old and it is like based on ATI architecture and blah blah blah. But it's still novel to me. Like it's mind blowing and fucking like I'm doing something that would require time travel that I can play, that I can emulate GameCube and PS2 and PSP and all this stuff. It's just the neatest. Okay, so all that out of the way, let's take a look here. I think what we'll do now is we'll stop her down here, and I'm gonna come on back with a fresh episode. We're gonna be right into Batocera territory. And we're going to play the games that I've selected for us to play. They are arcade games. They are sports games.
Oh.
And like I said earlier, they're going to knock your dick in the dirt.
So Madden.
So we're just going to play 93 Madden on the Genesis, and it's going to be a great time. So come on back for that, folks.